is time to turn the page when you hear R2-D2 beep like this. Let's begin now.
You ruined my record, man.
Oi oi, just thought I'd make a quick video kind of showing you guys all the stuff behind the scenes of how I made that tune. It kind of took a while. My whole intentions with it was, obviously, you know, I wrote 2 tracks and then I wanted to mix them live. It was definitely a challenge. So what I ended up doing was everything is sequenced through the MPC here. Hang on, I gotta fucking... Yeah, sorry, I had my flash on. So yeah, as I say, everything was sequenced by the MPC live. The reason I did this was because it has 2 MIDI outs, which I needed. So the MIDI A went out to my 10, which is under here, and that's for all my MIDI. Basically, anything that came out of MIDI A was melodic. So the System 8 had some drones, the Quantum had another drone. So basically everything had to be doubled because I had to write 2 tracks. So this is what took me so long. You know, as a labour of love, obviously, so I'm not going to whinge, but yeah, so the Quantum had another drone, and then the Analog 4, the Peak, and the Digitone all had ARPs going through them. I really like the Peak one. That was kind of, you know, the best one sort of thing. Hang on. No, I can't do it. Anyway, so the Peak one was good. The Hydrosynth was coming through with the beepy noise that I was kind of farting around with in the first track. I love the Hydrosynth. It's always just like, I wish I had about 10 of them. If it was just like the Virus and had more, you know, multi-timbral kind of capabilities, I'd fucking have like, yeah, well, I'd only have one, but it would be sick, you know what I mean? The mini log, I like the mini log. It's cool. It's really fat and, you know, it's just, it's easy. It's got a generic kind of nice sound. So that did the chords at the start. And yeah, just threw out a bit. And I got my Moog miniature, which I love always. So that's always on sub. That's how I get that nice fat sound. I love you, I love you. Looks like a siren, but that's just because I got the overlay for it and the sexy wood cheeks. So they match the Peak. Yeah. Everything runs into this beast. I don't very rarely say beast for something because I hate that terminology, but this thing really is a beast. You know, it's basically, you know, it's on roids kind of thing. So that enables me to get that clean sound because none of it's touched Ableton or the computer or anything. The only thing I have on the computer is OBS, which is looking at my fat ass, but yeah, completely DAWless. None of this hit the door at all ever. So pretty proud of that. I could have done it with some of the samples and that obviously, but well, yeah, anyway, so this comes over to this. So this side's more the drums and the bass, obviously. Got the Virus TI on the bass. You know, sort of can tell the Virus sound on basses. It's a little bit dated now, but I really like it, and really have time to program a shitload in. So most of these are just kind of like patches and with a little bit of tweaks, you know. And then I went to the drums. So all the things on this side sort of came out the MIDI B. Obviously MIDI only having 16 channels, although the Analog 4 has 4 in it, and I used 3 of them, a couple of layering, one for layering. The Digitone, same deal, I used all of them, but it's only really 2 channels, but they're just layered. I like the Digitone and that, but a little bit thin and clinical, you know, sometimes. So yeah, over this side, out the MIDI B. Now this went through to the Quadra through. Yeah, I don't know if you can really see that, but it's one of those non-powered jobby kind of vibes, and it was kind of cool, but it really kind of shut itself when I was trying to run drums through the Digitech and that, and the bass line through the virus. So hit a few anomalies with that. I kind of think it was just pushing everything a bit too hard. So what I had to do, which is really sucked because the whole thing, I wanted it to be all the way through, you know, live and that. I had to record a couple of the bass lines just to take some of the pressure off the virus in the second tune when it drops, because it just kept dropping out. The drums all go to the Digitech in the second track. So the way I got the mixing technique was I did the drums in the first one, relied heavily on you know, some one shots and a couple of loops and that, but it was all done through the MPC drums. And then, yeah, to get that kind of difference in track sound and mixing and that, I went to the drums in the Digitech, which is, funnily enough, a great Digitech pack from Electronic Sounds Audio, which is drum and bass and all you'll ever need to create any drum and bass banger. Link will be in the comments. Yeah, so that did all the drums. I layered it up with the Nord just because it's amazing. Like, let's just face it, these two are just like, it's just, yeah. I know you only have to put in samples and that, but like the best trick in the world is, and this is like the best trick, is I put electronic sounding drums in the Digitech, so that hits hard, you know, it's got that real fake kind of over the top and really kind of lends itself to the whole, you know, the effects and everything going on in the Digitech. You can really get kind of crazy and that clinical kind of vibe from Electron. But then I love like layering it with the Nord, because man, that thing is sexy and it's kind of real more like smoother, it's heavier and fatter, and I don't know, like you can just, hang on, let's just see quickly. So what I'll do here, so drum, snare, so they're both coming out MIDI port B, channel 2. So it really gives that like, but then if I don't, so that's both of them there. But then if I take out the, it just, like, I don't know. Have a listen with, I mean without, and then with the Snord. Yeah, just rounder, fatter, nicer. Anyway, so that's what I do with that. So I did that with a couple of the snares as well. And then what I did here was, the whole concept of this was, I've always had the MX1 and never really been able to use the scatter very well. It's kind of always too hectic, and you always envision yourself creating these masterpieces, wanging the fucking scatter shit, but they never do. They just sound crazy and stupid, but I kind of nailed it. So that's what I was doing at the end, was making, you know, that one beat and then just kind of using this scatter to sort of make the breakbeat sort of thing, you know. And I, as I say, I was quite proud of how I did it. It takes a bit more skill than probably what I'm good at, but like, you know, to do it live and that, but I thought I got there first time. For those that don't know, you can kind of hold this scatter thing down and you can change the scatter. So I had it on 1. I had it on 6 before. I don't know. It's some sort of like triplets or some shit, but it just goes from crazy to just like ridiculous, and that's about it. But yeah, that was kind of like what I really wanted to, you know, like do live as well, just to kind of, you know, I tried to do as much as I could live. Obviously a lot of it's sequenced, but that's because I have to. You know, I'm just one dude, just like with a lot of crap. So I had to sequence everything, which, you know, as I say, all came through this. Like, if you want to have a look, we got like, it was the most hideous thing. It just kept growing and growing. So yeah, we got to 45 in the end. It's just been like this massive ordeal. But it's been fun. I've loved it. You know, I've learned so much. Oh yeah, everything kind of goes through the heat. That's about all that happens there. That's just over here. So what I like to do is because most of this is like bass and drums, so I can add a bit of grit to them. I kind of use the heat more as like a glue. So that helps with that kind of overall polished sound. Yeah, that's about it. I've talked more about it longer than the bloody actual video, but yeah, any questions, hit me up if you want to know anything. I'm not going to say I know everything in life, but I obviously know a little bit. Yeah, big ups.